Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, Benefits of ACS International Membership. My name is Brian Frankel, and I am the manager of international chapters at the American College of Surgeons. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy days to listen to this webinar, which we are going to hear about the benefits of joining the college and learn some steps on how to become a member as well as an ACS fellow. Our panelists for today include Dr. Elmi Moller, who's the Vice President of the ACS South Africa chapter and is a general and transplant surgeon at the Groote Schuur Hospital in Cape Town, South Africa. Corey Petty, who's a Senior Manager in the Membership Department in the ACS Division of Member Services. Karen Freeman, a Manager of Domestic and International Credentialing, also with the Division of Member Services. And Dr. Fernanda Lage from the ACS Brazil chapter, and also a pediatric surgeon and associate professor at the Federal University of Acre in Rio Branco, Brazil. You'll be able to post questions during the webinar through the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. So please feel free to do so throughout, and staff as well as panelists will address your questions as we get to them. And if we have time after the presentations, we will also address some of the questions live. So without further ado, I want to turn it over to Dr. Moller, who's going to share her experiences as an ACS fellow.
Good morning. My name is Elmi Moller. I'm a general surgeon and a transplant surgeon at Groote Schuur Hospital in Cape Town. I head up the Division of General Surgery at the University of Cape Town, and I've been a member of the American College of Surgeons for quite a few years now. And it's an honor and a privilege to speak to you today about the potential advantages that you can have as an international member of the American College of Surgeons. And let me show you some of my ideas of why I think this is such a wonderful opportunity for every one of you out there to become a fellow or a member of the American College of Surgeons. Now, do we benefit as international members? Because many people will think this is only for North American and Canadian people. It's not really relevant for people outside of those areas. I beg to differ. I think it's an important resource for everybody across the globe because of several advantages that the society is giving us. For me personally, my journey with the American College of Surgeons started in 2012 when I had the wonderful privilege to be one of the college's international guest scholars. And this scholarship is an amazing opportunity for you to get to know people in your field working in North America. Certainly the college had been extremely helpful in setting up arrangements, organizing different hospitals where I could visit. And at this time, I was just busy working on my HIV to HIV transplant project. And I certainly had an opportunity to engage with important people in my field. But it also gave me a look into other people who are doing transplantation and what how they are doing things, how they are practicing their day-to-day activities in other countries, and for me to get a sense of where I stand as a South African surgeon in relation to these people. So I found this fellowship to be one of the key things in my career that really gave me some insight into where I am as a surgeon and where I want to go. But there are other important things also that it gives you an opportunity to go to the conference. And the conference that the college held that year was in Chicago. And we had quite a busy program, as you can see, during this conference. But we also had the opportunity to attend many talks and many interesting discussions. So this certainly was a highlight, and I think if anybody has the opportunity to go to this meeting, it certainly is an amazing meeting with lots of talks, and really there's something for everybody there. Very important is the focus that you get on mentorship through the American College. The college is very committed to drive this, and certainly as a young surgeon, I think for younger members, this is extremely important. For instance, this is an upcoming webinar that's specifically focusing on mentoring, but there are many opportunities through the college's programs and through the website to look into finding a good mentor outside of your country. And you know, mentorship inside of your institution can be very helpful and very important, and certainly has got lots of advantages. But having mentorship internationally can really shape your career. And for me, as a surgeon in South Africa, I had very strong mentors, both from, if I can think of somebody like Professor Peter Stock, who's at San Francisco, who really helped me in so many of my projects. And also, if I can mention another surgeon, Professor Francis Delmonico, who was based in Boston at Harvard, and who still today, both those people are important mentors to me. I talk to them regularly, and I ask them their opinion on decisions I have to make for my career, but also sometimes just for my clinical practice. But this can be, of course, a larger group of people, a smaller group of people, and there are many opportunities for mentorship through the college. There are also the website-based member communities. That's something I've used quite often when I have a very specific clinical question. Since I became the head of the division, I've sometimes had questions that were a little bit out of my personal field. So I would, for instance, want to know what would the average international surgeon do with a specific condition, let's say an aortic issue or a femoral issue, and then I would put it in the vascular member community. I could upload the pictures and I could ask people what they think. What should be done in this case? What is an appropriate management? And it helped me making decisions about some of those things in South Africa. So I do think the member communities are extremely helpful, and it's very well organized. So you don't have to work through loads of comments. You can actually only post your question and have a very informed discussion on that, or you can look at specific topics. For instance, here I've just taken a screenshot of some of the topics that's currently being discussed. So those are very nice because you can just say, I wanted today just read something about other surgeons across the world. For instance, number 8, surgeons as mums. I'm struggling with balancing my career and my home life and my kids. What do other people do? How do they feel? And it's very, very useful to get a sense of what's happening outside of your own hospital and your own environment. It just gives you a broader perspective and a broader vision of what can be done, and sometimes just a bit of support. I thought this was also very interesting that there are so many volunteer opportunities for people through the American College. I've just taken here a screenshot of some of the ones that were highlighted to me if I log in. And this is certainly something that can be a fun and a wonderful experience for somebody if you have the time to do volunteer opportunities somewhere internationally. Many people are developing their leadership skills. I think leadership is something we have to grow through our whole career. It's never over. You always have to think about your leadership and how you handle things. And there's lots of opportunities for young fellows, but also for older people to develop your leadership skills through the college, through either webinars, summits, meetings, and online activities. Interesting, the college has got a strong focus on caring for yourself, with burnout being a hot topic at the moment and many people struggling with the post-COVID situation or perhaps intra-COVID situation. I think resilience has become a very important topic, and some of these discussions is very, very helpful. And currently these are the online discussions that you can read and follow, and there's a lot of helpful comments and potential people that you could reach out to in these communities. In terms of the academic resources, I personally have used the CESAP resource very well, and It's a really good web-based international resource that's relevant to everybody, but there are also very good guidelines and ultrasound skills courses, so there's a rich variety of resources available through the college. I want to emphasize that it's not only for trainees, but it's also for experienced surgeons. There are many discussion forums on surgeons as leaders, surgeons as educators. There's the Society for Surgical Chairs. So it's a really rich resource also for experienced people. And that is, in summary, what I wanted to say. It's a rich resource. It's very well organized, easy to navigate, and you can expand your personal opportunities by becoming a member and starting to use this wonderful resource. So thank you very much for the opportunity to talk to you today. I hope you will consider becoming a member of the American College of Surgeons.
Thank you, Dr. Muller, for those insights. Some great overview of the different benefits and resources that the college can offer. What I'd like to do now is turn it over to Corey and Karen from ACS staff to talk a little bit more about benefits, as well as the different membership types and membership levels, including the ACS fellowship. So I'll turn it over to Corey Petty.
Hello. I'm going to talk about the beginning of the continuum of ACS membership, and that really starts with, I'm going to start with Associate Fellow membership. So Associate Fellow membership is the early career category for surgeons. So the surgeons who are just out of training, the surgeons who don't yet meet the criteria for fellow membership are typically eligible for Associate Fellow. In order to apply, we require a verification that applicants have completed their training, and they also must provide information about any current hospital or academic appointments. Associate Fellowship does not require board certification. And then one of the benefits that we like to let our associates know about is that as long as they are dues current, when they are ready to apply for fellowship, they get their application fee waived. Okay, so some of the benefits of Associate Fellow membership are, as I said, that this is a category for early career surgeons. So Associate Fellowship offers opportunities for members to network and meet other surgeons in their specialty, other surgeons in their countries and their regions, internationally. We do have 47 international chapters. There are more than 100 chapters altogether. Another one of the benefits is that membership provides access to a wide variety of educational and informational resources, including a webinar series. There are discounts on meetings and courses, discounts on products and services. There are complimentary subscriptions to our publications. There's also eligibility for opportunities to participate in leadership roles and eligibility for scholarships and fellowships. So in addition to associate fellowship, the other non-fellow categories we have are the resident membership category, which is for trainees. And that is an opportunity for surgical residents to start to become familiar with the American College of Surgeons and the world of surgery outside of their training program. We also have a medical student category that is for medical students who are currently enrolled and who anticipate entering surgery as their profession. And then we have a category for non-surgeon physicians, nurses, and a wide variety of office employees and administrators who work with surgeons and surgical patients and trainees. And so those categories provide a lot of benefits in terms of access to discounts and subscriptions and a lot of information that whether they're a trainee or a student or an administrator would find useful. So if you want to apply for membership, the next step would be to visit our website and review the requirements and then submit your application online. There are several staff members who work with the non-fellow members to facilitate their application, and then once they're members, to assist them as they go along the continuum of membership. And in addition to being able to contact us by email, we also have a toll-free line in which you can speak with someone during our business hours. So right now I'm going to turn it over to Karen Freeman, who's going to talk to you about fellow membership.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are at this time. I am Karen Freeman. I am the manager of member services. And my team work on how to become a fellow. So I'm going to spend the next few minutes to talk with you a little bit about the requirements and the timeline it takes to become a fellow of the American College of Surgeons. The first thing we start with are the requirements. You must be board certified in your country, have 3 years of independent practice, and this does not include any training, and we do consider fellowships as training also. You have to be licensed to practice in the country of practice, have a current hospital appointment, and the names of 3 ACS fellows for references. Now, these fellows can be from any country. They do not have to be in the country in which you're practicing. And equally as important, a current curriculum vitae in English. Before you sit down to apply for fellow, and it's all done online, you need 3 documents, just 3 documents. And I'm emphasizing this because we have had applicants who maybe it wasn't clear to them, and they sent us 49 documents. So we just need 3. We need a copy of your current license. We'll need a copy of your board certification and a copy of your current curriculum vitae. Now, on your CV, please list all your education and training. We find that if you move from one country to another country, sometimes the applicant will leave out their information from the country they just left. We ask that you list your employment in chronological order, and if there's, possible, explain any gaps. And then all of your presentations and publications can be at the end. Let's talk a little bit about the application timeline, because it's a lot of hurry up and wait, and it can take a really long time. So this year for our 2021 applicants, the deadline was December 1, 2020. Once we received all the application, it gives the staff time to make sure they complete, reach out to your references, and make sure that your application is in order so that we can get it ready for the interview teams. February 1, we let the interview teams, our international interview teams, who consist of your chapter leaders or governors, if there is a chapter. If there isn't a chapter, we look for our International Relations Committee to team up as an interview team to interview the applicants from those countries. By February 15th, the international interview team will receive all of your information. That includes your biographical information, along with your curriculum vitae. March 1st, the international interview teams will give you dates. We should have the dates to the applicants and ACS as to when your interview will take place. And then the interviews take place from March 15th to May 15th. Then, of course, by May 30th, all interview reports are due to ACS. The reason why I'm saying this could seem kind of long, because perhaps you won't have your interview until March. You'll have your interview until March, but we won't have your report until May 30th. So that's why sometimes it's a lot of hurry up and wait. The next thing we talk about after we have the June timeline where the applicants are reviewed by the Board of Regents. The interview teams only recommend you to the board to become a fellow. Our Board of Regents are the one who actually approve your applications. For all the applicants who are not recommended by the interview teams, we have another section that I don't have up here. It's called Applicant Review Committee. Our Applicant Review Committee go into further investigations. They may ask you more questions. And this is because we want to make sure that we have all the proper information and do more investigations to ensure if you can move on or if you will be postponed. July 31st, all applicants are notified of the status of their application. And then we move on from August through October. All of our approved applicants become initiates, and then you can register for Congress and prepare for clinical Congress. And in October, all initiates are conferred at the convocation ceremony. And at that time, you can use the FACS and you'll become Fellows of the American College of Surgeons. If you have any questions, I'm going to leave this up here for a second so you can put questions in the Q&A, or of course you can give me a call, email me, or anything like that, and I'll be happy to answer your questions individually.
Thank you, Karen. As Karen said, please continue to send your questions through the Q&A. If we don't address them during this webinar, we are capturing all your questions, so we will get back to you soon after the webinar with answers from the panelists. So please continue to send those. Our last speaker is Dr. Lage. Similar to Dr. Moeller, she's going to share her experience and ACS journey with us. Dr. Lage.
Hello, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here and to speak with you. I do appreciate and I thank the opportunity to be here. I am Fernanda Lage. I am a pediatric surgeon and I work and live in a small state at Brazilian Amazonia that's called Acre. I live in the frontier with Peru and Bolivia. It's been 16 years since I have been living and working here as the only pediatric surgeon of the region. Because of the recognition of my work, in 2018, I was selected to be the Community Surgeon Travel Award of ACS, and it was the most transforming and open-minded experience of my entire life. By part of the prize, I was invited to attend in the Clinical Congress. It was my first American College of Surgeons Congress, and it was open-minded experience. I was able to participate in the opening ceremony. I was designed to be mentored by Dr. Patricia Newman. That's an icon on surgery, that's an inspiring role model, and now she's my friend. And to construct this friendship, it was so important to me for my career. I have also met the current president of American College, Dr. Ronald Meyer, and also prominent surgeons from my country, Dr. Savino, Dr. Eladio, and it was an amazing. We have really good sessions, and I have improved all my skills, not only as surgeon, but also as a doctor in the global sense. So I have left the Congress with one certainty. For sure, I want to be back again, and I want to be part of that. In 2009, I have applied and was selected to become fellow of the American College. And all the ceremony, the ritual and the parade, the music, and to be close to the best surgeons from all over the world, from the 4 continents, and to be there, to feel myself part of that, it was an amazing and exciting experience. Here is my colleagues that become fellow, my Brazilian colleagues that become fellow in the same year that I did. And I have the opportunity in the Congress to make connections and to make networkings. So that in these pictures, there are the woman past presidents of American College, Dr. Barbara Best, Dr. Catherine Anderson, Dr. Patricia Newman, and Dr. Valerie Hirsch, and I was able to be with them and to talk with them and to discuss my ideas, discuss my reality, and it was really helpful. They are inspiring models and just keeping me trying to improve myself every day. So to be close to them, to be able to talk with them, it was really transforming in my life. So for me, the benefits of being FACS are to be, is to feel myself and to be part of something bigger, global. You feel yourself part of that. And to feel the potential of this union. I have met people from all over the world. Here is Dr. Kazumi from Japan, but I have also met other surgeons from Ireland, from Malaysia, from South Africa, and so many countries. And I was able to talk with them about my ideas and my proposals, and we are able to discuss realities and come up with solid ideas for improvement. I have access to excellent meetings, leadership activities, and I have learned really brand new concepts. And the possibility of building partnerships. It was, for me, it's the best to be part of American College. To engage in my local chapter, make me establish connections with excellent surgeons from my own country that I haven't met yet, and to identify new partners that we can develop projects together. Right now, I have 2 projects with them, and I can improve the care that I offer to my patients to spread excellence and to be respected by my peers here in Brazil. So being a fellow, I have some certainties in my career right now. I will never be alone anymore. I'm working here alone for the last 16 years, but I'm not alone anymore. I am part of something bigger, something strong, and I can feel the power and the potential of these connections. And really together we can improve the care, we can improve the surgery worldwide, and we can develop partnerships to work together. It was a pleasure to be here, an honor to talk to you. And I do invite all the surgeons that are listening to me to be part of American College. I think that we must work together to improve our power. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Alage. That was great. We are continuing to get questions, and hopefully we're addressing those for you. Again, we're going to capture all of them, and we'll get back to anyone that we weren't able to answer during the webinar. Karen, there are some questions that are coming in related to the interview process. Could you just quickly touch on some of the actual, what that actually involves? I know that's a lot to ask, but in
Sure. You know, the interview really is only about 15 to 30 minutes, and they basically ask you about your practice. They'll ask you about your ethical standing in your community, and they will ask you a lot about your patient care. They may also just ask you something that's on your curriculum vitae. It's not really long and detailed, but they do want to make sure that you are committed to the community of surgery.
Great, thanks, Karen. And I want to thank Karen and Corey, Dr. Lage and Dr. Moeller for participating as panelists. I think this was very beneficial for non-members and even members if they're joining us as well. I want to know what it takes to become a fellow. I do want to remind everyone that this webinar was recorded. So a recording will be sent to all of you, as well as will be available on the ACS website. For new member applications, there is an offer from now until the end of June 30th of 2021, that the application fee will be waived if you enter the discount code of ACS new. And that information is on the ACS website as well. So again, I want to thank everyone for joining us for this webinar. If you are currently not an ACS member, we hope that what you've heard today will help you encourage to maybe join the ACS family. So thank you again, and stay safe, everyone.